So let's talk about the biggest thing that I get asked, and the biggest thing that I am personally still always overcoming. I feel like it doesn't matter what level you get to, you will always be overcoming that, and that is the fear of losing. Why do we actually have this fear of losing? Because we have to understand this in order to be able to digest it and move on from it a little bit more. And I don't think there is, maybe one exact reason as to why you maybe have the fear of losing. For me personally, and it could be absolutely anything. It could be to do with things completely aside from trading. Like, the fear of losing doesn't just come from the markets and the candles that you see on a screen. The fear of losing comes a lot from our upbringing, and if any of you guys have read Trading in the Zone, they speak a lot about it in there. But for me, the fear of losing is I didn't grow up with a lot of money. My parents did absolutely fantastic for us, but we didn't grow up rich, or I grew up on an island where we were surrounded by an incredible amount of wealth, but grew up with, I don't want to say poor, say somewhat middle class. And for me, not growing up around money, not being able to always have the things that maybe your friends have when you were younger, that pressure and that kind of upbringing makes you value money very differently to someone who has grown up with a lot more and always been given a lot of things. We weren't like that. Therefore, if I ever got money, I would have to be very cautious with it. I couldn't lose it. If I lost it or I did something stupid, that would be very detrimental, because I know it's not going to be as easy to get back. So that, for me, when I came into trading, one of the biggest things was, learning to accept is losing money. And, money makes money, so you have to be okay with that. But for you guys, it could be, absolutely everything. But it's always good to go back and look back and try and understand somewhat, why do you maybe have that fear of losing? And, other things when you're growing up is like, we are taught as humans that losing is like failing. It could be in anything, losing sports, losing school, you don't pass a test, like just losing in general is seen as failure. Whereas in trading, that's completely opposite. If you lose a trade, that's trading. We are in the business of losing. We are in the business of losing trades, losing money. And that's just kind of something that we have to accept. So understand, why do you maybe have that fear? And what can you actually do to overcome that? So that's obviously going to be the biggest one, is the emotional attachment to the money. And, that will come over time. I remember when I lost like my first £10 in a trade, and I was like freaking out. I was like, what the hell have I just done? And then I lose £50, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world. And as you progress throughout the years, you kind of learn to deal with that better. So emotional attachment to money is absolutely one of the biggest things that can hold people back. And the second one is unrealistic expectations and wanting to succeed very fast. And a lot of people, when they do come into this game, we have this unrealistic expectation that within 2 to 3 months of not knowing what a single candlestick is, I should be making 5 to 10,000 a month. Them unrealistic expectations, again, you are too focused on the money and less on the process. Get into trading because you want to be thinking about the long term. You want to be trading for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10 plus years. So don't come into this with any expectations, and try and eliminate that emotional attachment to the money by understanding that this is losing. We are in the business of losing. You will never have 100% win rate. It does not exist. And how the fear of losing really, really, really impacts and kills a lot of traders is the actual hesitation to enter trades. And this is one thing you guys see me talk about all the time on stream. Is the biggest thing for me in my journey has just been executing well. I just want to execute well. I don't want to hesitate. I don't want to be like, oh, is this a good trade? And then, you don't hesitate. You take that trade, that's a loss. You hesitate on the next one, and that's the one that would have been the winner. Hesitation is what kills traders. You guys want to become fantastic executors. And the way you do that, in my opinion, is by removing the emotional attachment to the money, whether that's you think in terms of percent, ticks, whatever you want to do. But also for me, it's keeping the technical simple as well. And that's a technical side that we can touch on as well. Keep the technical simple, because I know that hesitation is what kills traders, and I want to be able to execute well. And if I have 10 plus different confluences to enter a trade, that's likely also going to be another thing that's going to make me hesitate. So hesitate because you have too much analysis paralysis, and hesitation because you're afraid of losing. And the next point is cutting winners too early. Again, every single point here leads back to the fear of losing money. The only reason you cut a trade too early is because you like the look of the monetary value. You see that, oh, you know, this is a $500 trade. I could take this trade and this trade could pay for this, this, and this. But, you know, if you were risking $1,000 to make that trade, then all of a sudden securing $500 doesn't make any sense. You're never going to have a good risk reward. You're never going to be able to be profitable. And you know, most of the times when you do cut that trade short, you know you shouldn't be cutting that short. You have your targets of where you know price needs to get to, and then it's the times where you do cut that trade short, it then runs into your TP that would have been, you know, 3 to 5x of that, and then you start revenge trading and start going on till because you go, oh well, if I just held this trade it could have been this much, so therefore I now need to force trades to make that much, and then you go back to break even. You lose the original gains, and then you end up losing more than you originally even started with, which is part of the next point, which is also overreacting to losses. You know, when we're winning good in the markets, we're like, this is easy, this is fantastic, I know my plan, I know exactly what we're doing. And then you take a loss, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I better go back to the drawing board. What the hell have I just done? Let me start revenge trading. Let me start upping my size. Let me start doubling down. You start overreacting to losses instead of just sticking to good risk management and understanding that losses are completely part of the game. So I'm gonna give you guys some good tips about actually how to overcome this fear. And it's a very normal fear. Do not beat yourself up over having this fear. It is absolutely normal. And you know, scaling up, it will still come in at some times as well. The biggest thing is obviously accepting that losses are normal. And like I say to you guys, we are in the business of losing. You're never gonna have 100% win rate, and nor should that ever be the goal. I know profitable traders that trade with maybe a 30 to 40% win rate, and they do not care about losses because they do not judge themselves on a day-to-day basis. And that's what is going to be point number 2, is don't judge your performance. And this leads back to expectations as well. You shouldn't be judging your performance day to day, or even week to week, or sometimes even month to month. Sometimes you could look at your performance over the last quarter. Okay, cool. This quarter I've made 20%. That's fantastic. So all of a sudden that 0.5 to 1% loss that you were emotional about last week means absolutely nothing. Why? Because you were able to stick to the plan and not over leverage and let that small loss turn into an even bigger loss, which then leads us on to the second point, which is having good risk management. Good risk management rules that you follow, where you decide to risk a certain dollar amount per trade, and that is exactly what you stick to every single time you take a trade. Whether that be 0.5 to 1% risk, or you like to risk, like I say, a certain dollar amount, that's entirely up to you guys. But either way, you have predetermined risk before you actually execute that trade. And you want to also accept that when you press that buy or sell button, that money is gone. You accept the loss, and if all of a sudden risking $1,000 is too much for you to lose in this trade, that is your answer as to whether you should actually be in that trade or not. And make sure you are sticking to a proven strategy, whether that's been proven by someone else, or it has more importantly been proven by you through live markets, through simulation sessions, through all the backtesting that you guys can do these days. That is gonna build up confidence to know that, okay, cool, yes, look, I've just backtested on paper trading, and when I'm paper trading, I don't have the emotions, therefore I'm able to execute well. And when I do execute well, I can see, cool, over a long period of time, this strategy works very, very well. Therefore, when you have that data, you know that when you come onto live markets, you have full confidence in your plan because you have seen it work time and time again. If you don't have that data, no wonder you're going to hesitate and not trust the plan, and be scared of taking trades and being scared of taking losses. You don't have the data. When I first started trading, I was scared of losing money. I didn't have the data. I didn't know if this trading plan even worked. So of course I was going to hesitate. Of course I was going to be scared to risk my own money. So build up that data over 100, 200 plus trades, and know that over a long period of time, every single Saturday in the start of my journey, or every single Saturday or Sunday, I would do at least 1 to 2 hours worth of backtesting and simulation sessions to give myself the confidence coming onto the charts next week, seeing the losses, seeing the winners outweighing them losses, giving me confidence to execute and know that, cool, here's my 100, 200 plus trades. If I just execute these well in live markets over a long period of time, I'm going to be profitable. And, try and rethink your way of looking at losses. You know, just because you lost money doesn't always mean you did something wrong, but in the beginning, there's a high chance that a lot of these losses can actually teach you some very, very valuable trading lessons. Very, very valuable trading lessons. And this is why I think Top Step's so great, because you can take these losses and only lose the $49 that it actually costs to do this challenge. You can make the mistakes. You're not going to get super emotional, and you're going to learn some very valuable lessons for a very cheap price. So use losses as a way of learning. You know, did you execute well? Did you maybe break your rules? Understand these things, and you know, don't just look at it from the perspective of, I lost to $500, fuck this, fuck the markets, blah blah blah, giving yourself all this negative thought process. Use these losses as a way to move forward, to build yourself up as a trader. And one thing you guys are gonna have to do if you really want to take your trading career serious is building up emotional resilience. And again, this is something that comes from time, but it's also, it takes effort to actually do these things. Don't just jump on the charts every day, take random trades and not focus on the emotional side of trading. You guys have to understand the importance of actually reviewing your trades, journaling, not just the wins and not just when you feel like it. This is a business. You have to be documenting absolutely everything. The amount of times that people maybe join my community and they just say, like, you know, they join for a month and they go, you know, Aaron, I'm not getting it. It's just not making sense. I just keep losing. And I go, okay, cool. Let's go on a call, show me your journal and let's review the losses. And they go, oh shit. How do I tell Aaron I don't have a journal? I haven't been documenting. I haven't been back testing. I haven't built up the data. Okay, cool. Well, if you don't want to do that, that is your answer of if you actually deserve to be a good, profitable trader. And myself in the beginning, if I was to ask myself in the beginning, do I deserve to be a good trader? I'm not journaling, I'm taking random trades, and I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. Do I deserve to be a good trader? Absolutely not. And for me, you know, one of the biggest things is, it is honestly just, it's time in the markets. You have to build up that time and build up that resilience. And you know, I didn't go from being okay with losing 10 pounds a trade to all of a sudden being okay with losing a couple of thousand a trade. That is something that absolutely comes with time. But as you progress in trading and as you see that your plan works over a long period of time, win or loss, all of a sudden the fear of losing slowly drifts away. Because now I've been trading for 7 years and I've seen all of the ups and downs, all of the stupid mistakes, and now I'm completely okay with losing because it's just a trade. Who cares? It's just a trade. If you guys haven't seen the podcast with John Rambo, it's absolutely fantastic. I must have watched that podcast about, I don't know, maybe 5+ times, which sounds ridiculous, but the thing that always stood out to me the most of what he was saying is like, it's just a fucking trade. Who cares? It's just a trade. Just take the damn trade, win or loss. I prefer to take good trades and cool market moves well than say to myself, oh, I made this much money today. And that's what you guys want to become, good traders. We'll focus on taking good trades. Stop focusing on the money so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you did enjoy these little card talks, let me know. We have plenty more coming, and I could talk about trading psychology all day long. So be sure to drop a little like, subscribe, leave a comment below if this did help you. Maybe even leave a psychology struggle or question that you have below, and I will absolutely cover it in the next one. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.